This is Nathaniel Garrett Novosel, author of The Meaning of Life, and here we've got a vlog post titled Figuring Out What You Want is a Simple Algebraic Equation. So, people who are in a period of indecision or listlessness ponder what they can do to get back the motivation they need to live a life more productive, more fruitful, and feel more happiness and purpose in it. Fortunately, the means through which you can make that switch are pretty simple. Not easy, but simple. There are two mechanisms that you should be using to determine what you want. First, there's your inner drive or compulsion to take an action toward a goal. And I gotta mean compulsion is a good thing. I don't mean like addictive compulsions to gamble or anything like that. I'm talking about I want to go for a run, or I want to go learn to code or something. And then second is your emotional feedback mechanism. So the compulsion is easy to see when it's there, right? When you have to go to the bathroom, you get a strong urge to go to the bathroom, right? When you're hungry, have a strong urge to find food. That's why people kind of mentally get up and just walk to the fridge without even thinking about it. It's like, well, I'm hungry. When your sex drive is turned up, you can't stop thinking about the opposite sex, or same sex as your orientation may apply. So the compulsions when you feel them. It's when you don't that you aren't sure what to do next. So we'll talk about that in a second. But similarly, emotions are easy to see when they're strong, right? So if you eat ice cream and you feel great pleasure, then you like ice cream, and you'll have it on your list of possibilities the next time you're thinking about eating dessert, right? You get ice cream, feel good, right? So you're gonna want to do that, right? Because you like it. If you hug someone and feel the joy of love, you'll want to do it again in the future. So more hugs for everybody. So it makes you feel good, right? It helps you figure out what you want or like in life. So when you ask a question like what you really want in life, though, it's because you're not feeling that compulsion or those emotions. So the good news is that there's a formula that you can follow to find out what you want in life, and it's as certain as 2 + 2 = 4. And I mean that seriously. It's as simple as a mathematical equation. And that equation is emotions equals desire plus belief plus experience. Now, how does this work? Let's look at a couple of examples. Jealousy is seeing a person or thing you want, that's the desire. Seeing another person have it, that's experience. And believing that the person doesn't deserve it yet, or doesn't deserve it, and you do. That's belief, right? It's a combination of those three things. Similarly, joy is wanting something, believing it's great, and experiencing it. So, if this is a formula, let's turn it into an algebraic equation. E, emotions, equals D, desire, plus B, belief, plus X for experience, to differentiate from E, being emotions. So, in that case, you just need to solve for D. You need to solve for desire, right? If you don't know what you want, you can just solve for the equation. However, we don't know what the other variables are, so we'll have to plug in numbers and see what you get for desire. Just like you would in an algebraic equation, you'd have to, if you have x and y, and you have if x equals this, then y equals that, right? You have those graphs that you chart out, but parabolas and so forth. It's the same thing here. If you're plotting for desire, D, what you want, then you have to fill in the other emotional variables there. And a side note, we talk about this for emotions in other vlogs, so we're not going to cover that again. But if you're more interested in more details around that, then you'll see that. So, if we know that the goal is to experience positive emotions such as joy, fulfillment, and happiness, then we know what we want to put in the E, right? Fulfillment. So E equals fulfillment. There you go. Fulfillment is that you've now filled in one of the 4 variables. Second, you just have to work back. So think of a time in the past where you've been fulfilled and start plugging in what you wanted, what you believed, and what you experienced. So let's say you felt fulfilled volunteering at a soup kitchen. Boom, experience, volunteering at a soup kitchen. So fulfillment equals D plus B plus volunteering at a soup kitchen. Now, the question is, what about it made you feel fulfilled? Well, it's probably because you wanted to help people and do good and believed that volunteering was a good thing to do for the less fortunate. So, we'll plug that into the formula. Fulfillment equals want to help people and do good plus believe that volunteering is helping and doing good plus volunteering at a soup kitchen. So there you go. You just solved for D. D, in this case, was want to help people and do good. So now you just need to figure out which other variables you can swap out for X, the experience, and still keep the equation true or balanced. Maybe it's, here we go, another example, fulfillment equals want to have children plus believe your contribution to kids is meaningful plus having children. There you go. So maybe children will help you feel fulfilled, right? Now, I will tell you, for something like that, you do want to make sure that really will make you feel fulfilled. Because obviously kids is a lifetime commitment, and you wouldn't want to take that decision lightly in today's society and raise kids who feel unloved and unwanted. So definitely test that. If you want to know whether you're like a dog, to go to one of the shelters and take them out for a walk or something, and just kind of get a feel for it, whether you actually want to have a dog or willing to take on the responsibility. Definitely think about that one. But let's stick to something a little bit simpler, like you want a certain job or whatever. It's like, well, you can go and volunteer to do that job and see if you like it. You can do an internship. There are all kinds of things you can do to see whether you actually like a job and it'll make you feel fulfilled or not. So those are different ways to solve for desire, aka D. So your last question might be, okay, Nate, you explained this, but how do I find what I want most in life versus just what I enjoy? Well, glad you asked. You might already know the answer. First, you want to know what you want in life. So there's your first desire. You have one desire already. So you're not without desire. You want to know what you want. So let's plug in the formula. Curiosity equals you want to know what you want, plus you believe you can figure it out if you investigate or ask others, plus experience researching the topic. Second, you need to keep changing the experience. So changing that variable, right? Exposing yourself to many different options and checking your reaction to see how your emotions change, which will indicate whether you want the thing you're looking at or not, or at least you'll know more about it, right? So in the equation, the E equals D plus B plus X, keep changing X. And everything else will start to fill in, right? Because remember, humans and other living organisms are stimulus response, right? So the stimulus, change your response, right? So if you volunteer a soup kitchen and feel good, okay, maybe it's volunteering. But maybe you volunteer, I don't know, to paint someone's house. Maybe that doesn't feel good. Okay, well, maybe you just don't desire to paint. Maybe that's not the way you want to volunteer. So maybe it's not just the volunteering, but maybe it's about actually interacting with people and helping them improve, right? Versus doing something that's like not there for you. So you'll start to, and yeah, you'll have to diagnose it, right? You have to see, okay, so I changed this, and I changed this one variable, and this is how my emotion changed. So maybe my desires and beliefs about that experience, now I'm learning because my emotion, it's telling me something. So keep tweaking them, keep changing the experience, keep seeing different things, keep getting data, and figure out whichever one makes you feel happy, fulfilled, growing, thriving, feel like you're alive, whatever you want to say for that. That's the shoot for your emotion. And then figure out what experience is causing that, and then just figure out those two. What are the desires and beliefs underlying that feeling and that experience about that experience? And you've got yourself an understanding of what you want in life and what you believe about what you want in life. So, there you have it. You will know what you want when you have experiences that trigger compulsions or desires in you to have future experiences that will lead to some form of growth. So you go shopping, see a shirt you like, you want to buy it, you wear it, you feel good about yourself, and enjoy compliments received from others. So you just go through that formula, expose yourself to experiences, get new emotional reactions to it, and dissect and deconstruct the emotional response into those components, and figure out what your desires and beliefs are. Now remember, last thing, the exploration process should be fun and exciting, not overwhelming. Just believe that it's a fun process and you'll feel better about it. Desire, belief, emotions, experience. So make sure your belief about it is high. It's going to go a long way to making you feel better about the process. Best of luck.